Saucy Bites.
Just coming in from a blistering cold walk. It's super windy. But I was thinking while I was on my walk, we have a senior in high school who's graduating this May. It's the middle of March. We have a graduation party we have to plan. Graduation party, that's a big deal. There must be a million different things I have to think about. How am I possibly going to keep track of all of that stuff in my head? So I turned to my faithful friend ChatGPT to find out if it could help me keep track of those thoughts.
So in the corporate world, I've definitely heard of a term called mind maps or mind mapping tools. But I honestly have no idea what it means. To me, when I hear that term and we're talking about all this AI stuff, it sounds kind of creepy, like something's like mapping out my mind. Ooh. But ChatGPT will help us understand what mind mapping is. Okay, so right off the bat, I asked ChatGPT, what is a brief explanation of a mind map? A mind map is a visual tool used to organize and represent information in a hierarchical and interconnected way. It typically starts with a central idea or theme, which is then branched out into related subtopics or concepts, creating a web-like structure. The branches can be further divided into more specific details or ideas, and the overall structure can be customized to fit the user's needs. Mind maps can be used for brainstorming, note-taking, planning, problem-solving, and other activities that involve organizing and visualizing information. So I'm a visual person, and I keep seeing the term visualization in this explanation. So my next logical question is, what are two tools that can visualize a mind map? Because I literally have no clue. So I scroll down, and in the conversation, it says there are several tools that can be used to visualize a mind map. But two commonly used tools are MindMeister, creative name, and Xmind. So I decide, how would I import a mind map into MindMeister? And so then ChatGPT comes back and tells me, here's how you import a mind map into MindMeister. And it gives me all of the steps. Basically, I'm going to go into MindMeister's web application and select to import a mind map file. Now, I don't know anything about MindMeister files, but I do see here in step 4 that it says select the file format of the mind map that you want to import, such as FreeMind, Mind Manager, or Xmind. I typically, as a general rule of thumb, go with whatever the first recommendation is by ChatGPT, so I'm looking into FreeMind. So I say, can you generate code for a simple 3-level mind map in FreeMind format? So ChatGPT comes back and says, sure, here's an example of a simple 3-level mind map in FreeMind format. And in like most of my ChatGPT demos, the thought is you take this code and put it into a code editor. The problem is I don't understand what format this is, like what file extension I need to use. So then I ask, how do I need to save this file so that I can import it? And so it basically gives me the steps. So go into a text editor or a code editor. But what I was looking for is save the file with a .mm extension. So with that information, I have enough to go in and actually try out the code that ChatGPT has provided me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up and copy the code that it gave me for this sample mind map. And I'm going to go to my code editor and I'm going to create a new file. In this case, I'm just going to call it mind map. And I'm remembering .mm was the file extension that ChatGPT told me to use. And then I'm just going to go ahead and paste the code and save it. Now, I don't know anything about MindMeister, which is the application that I asked it to write this for. But what I did was I went out, I Googled MindMeister, I found mindmeister.com. I came to the website, very easily signed up for a free account using my Google account. And once I get logged in, this is what I see on the dashboard here. So my guess would be, being a software guy, I would want to create a new map. And when I click on this button here, I see an import option. So my thought process is that I can use this to import the sample map that ChatGPT created. So I'm going to go ahead and select import, and it asks me to drop files here to import. So I'm going to come over to my demo folder, and I'm going to drag this mind map file, and I'm going to see a new main topic icon show up here. And look at that. It has a representation of what this looks like. So if we go ahead and open this up, you can see that it has created a main topic, and then off of that main topic are 3 subtopics. And then off of those 3 subtopics, there are 2 subtopics each. So this is an example of the type of visualization that you would get using MindMeister with the actual code that ChatGPT created. So I thought this was pretty cool. So I came back and I said, can you create in FreeMind format create code in FreeMind format for planning a high school graduation party in May? I'd like a 3-level map with the 3rd level being children of the 2nd level topics. So it very quickly spit out the following code. Here's an example of a 3-level mind map in FreeMind format for planning a high school graduation party in May. So again, I'm going to copy the code. I'm going to come back to my code editor and I'm going to paste in this code. Then I'm going to come back to MindMeister and I'm going to come out of here and I'm going to get rid of this one. And I'm going to go through the same process. I'm going to import this file. I'm going to go ahead and open it up. And as you can see, I now have a 3-level mind map here. So I have the main topic here. I have the subtopics here. And then I have subtopics off of the subtopics. So I have, for example, venue. I have indoor or outdoor. And then off of those, I have capacity, decorations, food and drinks, entertainment. Outdoor, I have tent rental, decorations, food and drinks, and entertainment. Then under guests, we have invitations. So we have to design the invitations, come up with a mailing list, process all the RSVPs. Underneath guests, we also have to think about activities. So underneath activities, we have things like games or a photo booth or prizes and giveaways. Huh? Not giving anything away. It's going to cost a lot of money. And then also under guests, we have accommodations like hotel recommendations, transportation options, parking arrangements, all these different things to think about that I probably have in my head, but they're kind of scattered all over the place. And so this tool, as you can see, gives me a good way to visualize what all of those things might look like. And what's really cool about this tool here is you can come underneath one of these little leaves, if you will, and you can close them up like this. So now you have like a collapsed view of your mind map. So I can just, for example, if I want to think about the budget, I can just click into budget and see all the different topics that I have to think about with the budget, like how much is the venue going to cost? What are my guests' expenses going to be? What kind of costs am I looking at for decorations or food and drinks or entertainment, so on and so forth. So pleased with how that came out, I was like, let's see if we can make it a little more complex. So I then asked ChatGPT, can you add a 4th level under entertainment with a couple things to consider for entertainment and do the same for food and drinks too? So it said, sure, here's an updated 3-level mind map in FreeMind format for planning a high school graduation party in May with a 4th level added to entertainment and food and drinks. I'm going to go ahead and copy this code. Now it's getting really complex. So I'm looking at this and it's, okay, it looks like it didn't quite understand what I had asked. It actually added entertainment and food and drinks at the main level of topics, not off of the subtopics of food and drinks. So that's not quite what I was looking for. So I'm going to come back to ChatGPT. I said, no, I meant to add the 4th level items under the items labeled entertainment and food and drinks, which are currently 3rd level items. What you provided me added them as main level items. And ChatGPT, always being polite, comes back and says, apologies for misunderstanding your request earlier. And it provides me updated code. So I'm going to copy this code again. Okay, so now what I see is underneath entertainment, we now have some additional items. So for entertainment indoors, we have to think about music, a dance floor, lighting, sound system. Also, it's doing the same for outdoors, music, dance floor, lighting, sound system. So these are just things that ChatGPT kind of came up with on its own. Now, if I scroll down here, we can see underneath food and drink costs. So I added this under our budget. And so now we have to think about a menu, like are we going to have appetizers, a main course, desserts, beverages, then the service related to those. Is it going to be catered? Is it going to be a bartender? I don't think so. Table service? Definitely not. And cleanup? Oh, we'll just have everybody help us pick everything up. So you can see that it's doing a pretty good job of making something that could be kind of difficult to track in your mind, easy to plot out in a visual way that is helpful for people that tend to visualize things. Now, let's say this approach does not work very well for you, like you don't like the way this looks or flows. One of the things you can do in this tool that I found is you can come down here to the bottom left, and instead of mind map, you can switch to outline mode. And what outline mode will do is it will give you the ability to collapse all of the different sections down to their main topics. So venue, guests, budget. So for example, if I do venue, I then have all the child topics of indoor and outdoor. And then underneath there, I have to think about capacity, decorations. Under entertainment, I have indoor entertainment things to think about, outdoor entertainment things to talk about or think about. So as you can see, there's a lot of flexibility here with the way this works. The other cool thing is that you can actually come in and you can change the theme of your mind map. So maybe you don't like the way this looks. So they have some themes that you can pick from that make it look a little bit different. So for example, I can pick bubbles and it will actually create something that looks a little more like this. Or I could pick this aquarelle, which makes it look a little more like this. And the other really cool thing is that you can actually come in, for example, let's collapse the venue and go to guests and then go to invitations. So let's say, for example, underneath design, I can click on here and I can click on the 3 dots and I have some different things I can do. I can create a comment, I can add a note, I can attach some media, or I can even create tasks. And basically this would be helpful if you have multiple people helping you plan this out and you all are part of this MindMeister group here or team. And so you can assign people tasks and then they can go in and track the progress of their tasks and you can see what the progress of their tasks are as well. So it's a really helpful way to plan and execute a project. So all in all, I think this is really, really cool way to get ideas that are in our heads out onto something that you can then maybe work with the team and brainstorm on ways to tweak and improve a particular process. And using a tool like this, it makes it really cool because you can kind of like drag things around and move them and create new items right within the map itself. So I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please make sure to click like and subscribe, and I'll continue creating content like this.